First of all, your take on the recent interaction between the Prime Minister of Israel and President Obama.
So going to the heart of the issue, it is concerning to see how Obama's opposition to Iranian nukes seems to be on a sliding scale. There seems to be more tolerance now about refinement for civilian purposes. There doesn't seem to be as much urgency in resisting the Iranians going nuclear. And this is very concerning, despite ostensibly the Americans and the Iranians being on the same side with respect to ISIS. The Iranian Republican Guard is probably the most potent terrorist organization in the world. They have extensive ties to terrorist groups all over the world, including Sunni groups, Hamas and Islamic Jihad among the Palestinians. The 9/11 Commission showed that there was ties between Iran and Al-Qaeda. So the idea now seems to be that the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but that doesn't work in the Middle East. It's never worked in the past. And imagine, if you will, the Iranians having a nuke, what that would do to terrorism in the world.
Yeah.
Just the security of a nuke.
You know, and Philippe, I have to tell you, I like your choice of words, however you phrase it. Obama's approach to Iranians having nuke is on a sliding scale, I believe how you said it.
Yeah.
There is nothing out of this administration that gives me any comfort, any degree of faith in the integrity of their judgment, to sit here and say, well, I trust the president's judgment on that sliding scale. I don't care if it's pulling troops out of Iran. I don't care if it's supporting the Muslim Brotherhood leader in Egypt, removing Gaddafi in Libya, saying that Ebola will never come to the U.S. It goes on and on and on. This president looks like someone who does not have any experience, is what Steve Wynn, casino magnate, said recently. He looks like a president that is in over his head, and it troubles me to hear what you just said about President Obama and his so-called sliding scale.
To be completely honest, I'm troubled as well. I've long been a defender of President Obama to the extent that I thought he was unfairly criticized at the beginning. And I liked how he was building, in this case, the sanctions internationally to pressure Iran. But now you have a situation where weeks ago he said there was no strategy to deal with ISIS. I can't recall any incident similar to that in my lifetime of a president openly saying there's no strategy to deal with a huge threat that was partially created by American withdrawal. I don't like his speaking in two different tones about Israel and Gaza this summer. And it is very concerning now that suddenly ISIS has become the first of his priorities when it was not even on his radar a few weeks ago. So you don't really know what to expect. And I think Prime Minister Netanyahu, for all that he can be criticized, is right that to ignore Iran now to focus on ISIS is focusing on a smaller problem, is focusing on a symptom. Iran is the head of the snake. Iran is the nation that gave the message to the Islamic world that fundamentalism and jihadism might work.
I think most American people, I don't know about Western Europeans, but most American people, the vast majority, are not aware of what you just said. Something that surprised me, too, coming back to Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, he says that he sees an Arab alliance as aiding Mid-East peace. That surprised me. I don't expect anything of any positive tone out of him when it comes to any sort of alliance regarding Arab states. Your take on his comment, and what did he mean by it exactly?
So, it's very interesting. I think this is largely based on what happened this summer. In a very telling turn of circumstances, you had the Western nations criticizing Israel while Egypt and Saudi Arabia were strongly backing Israel against Hamas behind the scenes.
Okay.
They've come to the Brotherhood, of which Hamas and Al-Qaeda are extensions, as a direct threat to their power. And the Middle East is a bit of man against every man. And so if they're facing a common enemy, in the meantime, they have interests that align. I think Prime Minister Netanyahu is hoping that because of this common interest, he can strike a deal with more than just the Palestinians that would stabilize the whole area and hopefully not require that Israel give up territory that would endanger it.